Hello, I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner, and today we're going to talk about Charley's Body Shop and RareGem Productions. Come on back. Welcome to this episode of City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me today are Miss Charley Johnson, who is Executive Director of CBS Liturgical Dance Ministries, or well known as Charley's Body Shop. Also with Charley is Miss Shameen Hubbard, who's Director of Public Relations for CBS Liturgical Dance Ministry. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming in and talking with us today. I mean, you all are really good friends of mine and associates and workout folks. I mean, everybody will ask me, girl, your body looks good. I said, body by Charley's Body Shop. So, and it has been, I mean, I've been working out with you, Charley, better part of 20-some years now. It's been great. And you have, and a lot of folks have asked you to move, but you've stayed in the North City area.
Yes, that I knew from the beginning that that's where I was supposed to be. And
you're located at Maffitt and Kings Highway.
Correct.
And you used to be on the Kings Highway there at Maffitt, across the street from what's now Covenant House.
Correct.
Used to be Blessed Sacrament School back in the day. Yeah. But your reasons for staying in North City?
Well, you have to know who you are and where you're supposed to be. It's my passion. When I opened my business originally, I was led to come from West County to North St. Louis. And I still believe that there's a lot of work to be done there, and I am very happy where I am, and I'm happy with the direction that the studio is going also, with our being in North St. Louis.
And you're talking 1983, you got things off the ground.
Correct.
With reference to dancing at first, adult dancing and exercise.
Well,
correct?
It was just cardio, basically cardio, and it just grew from that. In '83, we started out with, the first class I had was 34 people. And we had men and women. And we moved from the inside the church to a storefront in 1985. 86, we added our youth. And that has really made a big difference in our business. That's great.
That's great. So you got young people coming in from all over the St. Louis area on weekends, on Saturdays, specifically to sign up for classes. Classes are coming up pretty soon.
Right. We have registration on the 22nd of August, and we will register youth from August through December. We stop in December.
Okay. Yes. So you've got young people who are signing up for what kind of dance classes?
Ballet, tap, jazz, modern, and hip hop. So
the young people get an opportunity to learn all of these disciplines.
Yes.
In a year's time?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And the year, it culminates with a concert that you have in June.
Yes, we have a major concert at the end of the summer. Well, not really the end of the summer, but the end of the school year. The last Saturday in June. For the last 20 years, we've been at Forest Park Theater, and we hope to stay there. It's an excellent place. It's exactly what we need for who we have.
It's a great venue. It's an awesome venue. Now, you've been at this for 30-something years, and you've met young people like Shameen, who have come on board with you, and you've actually seen this young lady grow.
Yes, ma'am.
And become a wife and a mom, and the whole thing, and come very much involved with the organization. You've got something that you're overseeing right now as a public relations director for CBS this September, and it's called the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk. Yes. Tell us about it.
The Jason Johnson Memorial Health Walk and Health Fair is our 4th annual. We do it to, first and foremost, memorialize her son, Jason Johnson, that was the victim of a hate crime down in the Blue Hill of Missouri. And we do it as a fundraiser. 100% goes towards scholarships for the girls that come in and take dance classes. But we also do it to reach out to the community partnerships, and probably uplift the children, uplift the goal of a healthier lifestyle, healthier living, This year, we're really excited. It's right on point that we have Captain Hayden, 5th District, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, Captain John Hayden involved. So we want to use this as a vehicle, a tool to aid in the healing of the relationship between the police, first responders with the community.
Because you actually walk through the neighborhood.
We're going to actually walk through the neighborhood. Okay,
the route would be down Maffitt to from Kings Highway to Union, right? Correct. Basically from that way. And so you actually walk. What's the reception when people see you all walking through the neighborhood and such a nice crowd of folks on a health walk? What kind of reactions do you get from the neighbors and the people that are walking? What have you seen?
I would say various.
Okay.
First of all, they want to know, what are you doing out here at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning? You know?
In North City, yeah.
Yes, and it has been very positive, very positive. Good. People have come up. We've even had people to put the shoes on and come out and walk with us.
Very good.
Yes, we want them to know that we're there, that we are unified in what we do. It's unity that makes up a community, and that's what we're about.
So this has been a fundraiser that you've put on. This is the 4th biannual that you're putting together, and you also have an evening in white, something that you've been doing for a few years now. That's also a celebration towards what you've done over the last 30 some odd years, and fundraiser for the organization.
Yes, this is the evening in white is more of a fundraiser than the walk. Okay. We don't do a lot of financial gain through the walk. It's more information.
But people do need to register for that walk, though.
Yes, yes. Okay. But it has grown. It has grown every year that we've had it. And what happens is the walk will feed over into the gala. So it enhances what we do.
That's great.
And it's a time for us to dress up, bring our children out. We always have a table specifically that has been donated for our kids, various ages, so that they can have an evening out also.
Oh, great. So young people are encouraged to come to the evening in white. This is going to be at the Renaissance Hotel, November 7th.
Correct.
And you're going to have a great opportunity to expose young people to dressing up and going out. Because a lot of times kids are not included in those kind of after 5 events.
We include our kids in everything, basically because that's what we're about. We are about our youth. From the very beginning, it was about the adults. And then through exposure to one of the schools in our area, we were introduced to the children, and that has been our main focus ever since.
That's awesome. Now you deal with babies, I mean, little bit, they're so cute.
2 and a half.
They're so cute.
2 and a half and up.
They're just the dearest. I mean, I've got some photographs of the concert this past year of the kids practicing on stage that I took right quick. My granddaughter also performs with the group, and I've got some of the praise dancers. You deal with not only the little biddies, but you've got the young girls. Tell us about those young ladies that you've seen grow up from 3, go off to college, because I've seen you send some young ladies off to college.
It's been an amazing experience because we now have grandmothers that are dancing with granddaughters, mothers that are dancing with daughters, but we also have had a great track record of our young people. The majority do go off to college. We have 3 right now that came through Charley's Body Shop that are at Columbia School of the Arts in Chicago.
Wow.
They are doing major things in dance. We've got one who is probably 26 or 27 now, who is a professional dancer in California. In fact, one of the principals, I think she's the principal now, came from our studio. She's the principal in one of our public schools in St. Louis. So we have a great track record. We try to keep up with everyone that has ever come through. It's a family.
It really is. I mean, you seem to embrace everybody when you're at your studio, especially the little bitty people who are just so glad to see Miss Charley. And you have actually turned a lot of duties over to young new teachers, because you used to teach the babies, but now you're directing mostly primarily, but you've got some nice young people who have come in and are helping out.
And the main thing we try to do is to enhance everyone. This is one of my right hands. She started out just exercising by herself. I saw her with her children, who are now my grandchildren.
I know.
And they, all 3 of them, danced this year and last year in the concert. So it's a family affair, and that's what our community is about.
It's about a village, right?
That's right.
It's about a village. The beautiful thing is seeing the parents who are sitting there waiting for the babies.
Yes.
And then day of concert, how everybody just gets involved and helps everybody out and pull things together. I had a friend come to the concert this year and they were just amazed of the production that took place on stage, and they just wondered, how did they get the costumes together? How did they get all the girls' makeups together? So that's done how?
That is the village. We teach these young ladies and babies the professional way, so that if you end up at Carnegie Hall or if you end up at the Fox Theater, you know what protocol is if you're in theater. Our babies, we begin to teach them maybe about the third or fourth month that, you know, one day you're going to be on stage, and what is professional etiquette. So we start them out young, and as they get older, we have the teenagers that take care of a lot of the babies. Parents take care of other parents' children, and that's what we want to build on. We want them to be productive in everything that they do, and we want them to do everything in decency and in order. And
they're so cute, especially day of concert with the makeup. That's it's like special. A fantasy of, wow, I get to put on makeup and I get to look, you know, beautiful, and I get to do something different with myself. So it's wonderful what you're doing over there in the community. And I guess the biggest thing y'all would really like to see happen this fall is folks really sign up for the walk. Tell us again when the walk's going to take place, Mimi.
It's going to be Saturday, September the 26th. Right now through August the 26th, you can come in as a sponsor.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to really support.
So we're looking for sponsorship right now, some corporate sponsorship.
Vendors, we have vendor booths for profit and not-for-profit organizations.
So you're going to have workshops too. And workshops. If folks don't want to walk, you've got workshops for folks' health.
Yeah, we've got people signed up from Wash U. We've got Empowerment Network for the prostate cancer survivors, Brother Melvin Shahid. We have a lot of good people, a lot of good speakers coming out that have already committed, but we're also looking for more. And like Charlie said, it's not a big fundraiser, nominal fees to engage as far as being a vendor or a booth or anything like that. So,
and the Evening in White is coming up in November 7th. It's before the holidays, kind of kick things off. I really want to thank you ladies so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
and talking
for having
with us. Love to have you back again to promote what's coming up pretty soon and the springtime. But thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Robin. We appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate you all. Thank you. We'll be back in just a minute with RareGem Productions.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce, and back in the studio for City Corner. I have a really great friend and colleague here with me today, Miss Jade Harrell with RareGem Productions. She's here to talk with us a little bit about everything that's going on in the community, some of the great things that your production company is doing right now. I mean, Jade, wow. Girl, you just came in here but gangbusters and just said, let's do this. And I have to say, you are a wife, a mommy, an organizer, an activist. How do you do this?
Nothing but the grace of God.
It has to be, because sister, the first day I met you, you were just this engine just bursting with, you know, wow, I want to be a journalist. I want to do this and I want to do that. Can you help me? Yada, yada, yada. And it's been an awesome, you know, relationship that we've had over the past few years. So what's going on right now? You have this huge collaborative you're doing with several different partnerships across the St. Louis area with reference to stopping the violence and moving forward. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Well, that's Alive and Well STL, but I want to make sure that I talk to you and tell you thank you, because when you talk about when we met, it was all those things I was excited about and had no idea that you encouraged me with.
Oh, wow.
And is that encouragement and that influence and that example that you set that really spurred me forward.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So
thank you. You never know.
Right.
You never know. But I mean, that's just what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
you
I'm
planted
glad.
a tremendous seed in me and believing in me that I could do it. And I really relished that well.
I always say that to people, it's in you. It's there.
Thanks.
So, and you have moved forward.
It is. It has been wonderful, and I'm excited about where things have come.
Yes.
So Alive and Well STL is a community effort that is with media partners to help propel the idea that toxic stress is making us sick, and that we are influenced by and affected by the traumatic experiences that happen in our lives.
Wow.
Similarly to people who may fight in wars or endure some extreme traumatic experiences, we too here in the St. Louis region, in our communities, in our families, in our homes, in our childhood, are experiencing trauma that in turn creates adverse health outcomes, and there's science behind it.
That isn't, and okay, I was going to say there's science behind it, and in fact, the last show I did for City Corner in July was exactly about the environment in St. Louis and how it's affecting our health. So you're talking about the toxic things that are going on that are coming out through media, through what we're dealing with our new platforms that are available right now, information that we're taking in, some of the activities in the environment that's happening right now in the St. Louis area and coming behind. We are just dealing with the 1-year anniversary of Mike Brown's killing. Those are those kind of environmental things that you're talking about?
Yes, and these are things that many of us are not aware that we are experiencing adverse effects. So you may have a funny feeling, you may not wake up in the morning feeling ready to take on the day. Those may be subtle things, but over time, and for us we're talking a year, that we can cite as a constant barrage of this kind of information, this kind of intake, this kind of impact that is affecting all of us. No matter what side you're on or what position you're taking, you are still adversely affected by what's happened here in the St. Louis region, by maybe something that's happened in your past specifically, and all those things compounded in turn affect your health. And it's toxic. That's why we call it toxic. So the partnership is the Regional Health Commission heads this all up.
Okay.
Yes, and it started out as a radio show that I produced.
Right, and you produce this for iHeartRadio?
Well, I produce it as RareGem Productions. Okay. And I air it on iHeartRadio.
Okay, yes, because it's formerly Clear Channel.
Yeah, formerly Clear Channel, and it's a great place to distribute because we needed to reach the, well, we started with Hallelujah 1600. We needed to reach the community that had the greatest impact of what was going on, where we saw the greatest disparities, and they had a 10-year study that kind of proved what areas, and it focused on mental wellness and mental health, and it's huge. So the show got so much of a positive response, and we're talking not only in St. Louis but beyond, that it became apparent that we needed to.
I was going to ask you about that. What kind of response did you get? Because sometimes folks will not respond to you know, doing something healthier in their lives, especially on a mental level. So we're seeing a response that's positive.
Absolutely, which is kind of where I come in, because of the way that we message. And they called me in to be executive producer to help with that messaging. So our radio program wasn't kind of this stand up and say, hey, you need to get your health in order, hey, you need to, you know, and it's not a general PSA. These were real stories, real sacred places that expose what many of us could relate to as issues associated with toxic stress.
This is good to hear, because generally you market towards the African American community. That's your demo.
That's where
and generally what has happened in the past is folk of color didn't feel like they really needed psychological care or just counseling. So you see that changing now? People are saying, look, I might need to go talk to somebody.
Absolutely. Well, we had an example with Tony Scott. So beyond the radio show, then again, the response, we had to respond to it in a greater way. So then Regional Health Commission took commercial spots to Radio 1 that ran also on 1041 and 95.5.
Okay.
And then the partnership now is expanded to include the St. Louis American, to also include KSDK, and other media partners, because we're using media to affect the change. And this is where you're saying that you could see the difference.
So we're going to start seeing
people
some
where
messaging.
they are.
Right.
Oh, you should see a lot, because we just had a launch, and you should see it across the board. You'll see it on TV, you'll see it in print, you'll see it, you'll hear it as well on the airwaves.
So will it be like one message that you will hear constantly?
Similar.
Okay.
Similar, because there are some things that we want to tailor and custom to who the audience is. So with KSDK, we've got Kay Quinn, who also customs a message, but essentially it is take five to assess that you need to maybe take another look and see if you're feeling 100%, if there's some resources that you may want to look into, there's some tests you can take, and because one of the things is you don't realize until we've made things normal. And you talk about African American community. Over this past year, it's become normal to see someone shot or hurt, or police conflicts between community and police. It's become normal, and it's not. And these are things that help us get in touch with that. For example, when Tony Scott was here, also he shared about his challenge with depression and feeling that he needed some counseling and some treatment and therapy. And by him connecting with this movement as well, it helped people relate to the fact that, hey, you know what, maybe there is something going on.
And it's great that you have people like him who are on the forefront, who are known personalities here in the St. Louis area, to admit, you know, I'm suffering, and I think I'm dealing with a little bit of depression here, and I really do want to let the radio audience at the time, for him when he was here in the St. Louis area working, know what's going on with me. And that probably made a difference for somebody.
I'm sure it did. You know, I'm sure it did, because it's a real story that you can connect to.
Because folks connected to him, they connect to you, and they probably connect to the personalities and folks you have in the show.
Yes.
And of course, the other mediums that are being utilized for this particular project. This sounds like the Stop Smoking campaign.
You know what? It is in a way. It is in a way, but I want to include the element of it being a real narrative, a true narrative of what we experience here. So beyond the clinical part, there is the key human issue that comes out in the stories that are told. You know, the heart of it is in the stories and the realness.
So you've got stories that are going to be told in kind of like vignettes that would, you hope, penetrate individuals to think, who are looking or listening or reading, go, maybe that's something I need to think about.
That's why I'm excited to be a part of this collaborative. Personally, for RareGem Productions, it's a really big boost for the work I'm doing. You know, I'm about promoting positive energy, positive outcomes, and
you're about gathering the information and getting out there. Tell us about RareGems, because if you go onto your website, you will see all these exercise gurus and folks all muscled up, pumped up.
That's one of the
folks
podcasts.
Who are juicing and doing some things like that. Tell us about your company.
Well, RareGem Productions promotes, presents, and produces positive programming. So essentially, I want to be the antithesis to negative media, because you have no problem finding every no good, rotten, low down thing that's going on, and if it bleeds, it leads. But you know what? Positivity is connected to wellness and good health, and I care that people have something that they can pull value from, that can add value to their lives, as opposed to being a thing that also brings them down. And that's true to my heart. You've known that from the day we met.
I mean, it's for you, I've seen you always snowball things, even if it were negative, into this next positive that's going to either inform an individual or help somebody out. Moving to the next level. You have taken on iconic programs like Sunday Morning Live, kept them going for several years, and you have a new program through iHeart called Connect.
Community Connection.
Okay,
with
tell
Jade
us a little bit
Harrell.
about it, and you know, when it airs and things, so we can listen in.
Well, that's ridiculous, but it's great. So, you know, we met several years ago. I'm probably 10 years now with iHeart, formerly Clear Channel, and kind of moved into the seat that you once held, which is an honor. Corner. But then Sunday Morning Live over time did evolve and change, just like radio
everything,
altogether,
TV, the whole thing is
so
changed. Yeah.
I hung in there after Kevin Pulley said, "Don't you let go, you got to stay in there." And now it's called Community Connection with Jade Harrell, airing on 5 of the 6 stations in the cluster.
Wow, you
so
go, sister.
Oh, I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful. On 93.7 The Bull, on Wild 1049, on Z1077, on Hallelujah 1600, and on 100.3 The Beat. And each program I do custom for each audience. So I'm doing a lot of interviews. It's not one vanilla program for each audience.
Okay, great.
Absolutely not. And some weeks I'm producing 5 shows so that they are specific for the audience. And I studied who it is so that it's not random. And for me, this kind of stems from what I feel like is a lesson I got from meeting Mike Brown, is that these connections and the interactions we have with people must be tangible. They must matter, that they can't be fleeting. So I wanted to be sure that I'm connecting with our audience in a tangible way. Tell us about,
we've got a picture up of you and Mike Brown. When I was flipping through stuff last year, and you know, we were dealing with the unrest in the St. Louis community at that time, and I was going through photographs. I mean, I ran across all kinds of things. Cecilia Nadal, who's with Jatana Productions, was out there with the monks. I'm like, what is Cecilia? So Cecilia, I ran across this picture of you and Mike Brown. How did you meet him?
I took my children to Normandy High School with my husband and some other alum to Normandy High School to welcome them back their first day back to school. Being in community programming and public affairs, I knew how much the children had been through with the disaccreditation, with the transfers, and all, again, negative media. And there had to be something else that was of value for them. So I went with pom-poms to the school.
That's so sweet.
You know, before I took my kids to school, to cheer them on and welcome them into their first day back to school. Wow. And so what floors me, and again, this is that real lesson, is that this could have been any child that was coming up the street. But I saw this, and he came right up with a big smile. I would not have known 13 months later that Harrell, would have been him.
We could talk forever. I've got to wrap this show up, but that was beautiful.
That was a moment that was captured in time.
They got you a chance to meet this baby, and I thank you so much for sharing this with us. I really do. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to thank you for tuning in to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce. We'll see you the next time.